Hello and welcome to today's marketing session. How do you promote yourself on social media? That's like probably one of the hottest topics that I can talk about. One of the biggest questions I get when I first meet and consult with a potential new client. So that's what we're going to talk about today because that was the number one question coming into the free community all of last week. And I want you to know I actually did a much more in-depth training on this on Monday inside of the group if you're not in there yet. It's a free group. You're more than welcome to jump in there. Just say the word group and I will send you an invite through Messenger. So let's talk about it because it's so important, right? To promote ourselves. If you don't promote yourself, how are people going to find you? How are they going to know what you do, right? But there's also some do's and don'ts with promoting yourself because especially for us as entrepreneurs and solopreneurs, many of us are, promoting ourselves also means showing up, but doing it in a way that's authentic, that's genuine, that really wants to serve others, and you're being perceived that way. I can't tell you how many messages I get throughout the week, especially here on this platform, people that I've just literally connected with through a networking group. And when they reach out to me, instead of saying hello, they're pitching me. It's like, really? That's the quickest way to get blocked and unfriended. So I want to share with you some tips of what to do to promote yourself successfully, and also some basic foundations to promoting yourself on social media. So if you are brand new to the page, welcome. My name is Ginna Tassinelli. I am the founder of Stylishly Branding with Ginna, which is a division of our social media marketing agency, Height Media. I work specifically through this part of our business directly with female entrepreneurs to teach you how to show up as a personal brand, how to develop your personal brand, and gain visibility so that you reach the right audience, you connect with them, and you move them through a customer journey that gets them to become raving, buying fans from you. So as a social media marketing agency, we also have done for you services when it comes to all things social media marketing and management and paid traffic, lead generation, all of that fun stuff. But let's dig into this, okay? So I've got some notes, and if you are watching this on the replay, please feel free to drop your comments down below, ask any questions. I always come back and respond to everybody. I love when you guys engage. If you do any Facebook Lives, you know how it can get a little bit awkward to just be speaking to a camera and nobody's really saying anything, right? So don't be shy, okay? All right, so first, let's talk about some basics about social media marketing for business, okay? Now, this is an ever-changing game. So it can get very overwhelming to stay on top of all of the changes. And that's why you really want to find an expert or maybe a group of experts to follow, to get training from, because unless this is what you do for a living, unless marketing is what you do for a living, there's a lot to navigate. And there are a lot of people doing what I do, for example. Something that I love to share that sets me apart from many people is that my background is in advertising. So our agency actually launched in 2009. And prior to that, I worked for a multi-global media company doing advertising there. Now, this is way before social media was even created. So I just dated myself. But I've seen it all. I've been through all of the ups and downs. I've been through the launching of this platform and all of the other ones that came afterwards. And even algorithm changes, all of that. I've tested out so many different paid traffic strategies, and some failed and some haven't, which is why I'm still in business. So you know, that's the difference with somebody like myself. And then there's a lot of great people out there that are, getting into this business as well and learning the ropes. But a lot of the basics is what really needs to be understood in order to be successful in marketing and promoting yourself on social media. So knowing the ever-changing game, staying in the loop with all of these changes is really important if this is something that you're doing on your own or something that you want to learn and do with an expert like myself. So let's talk about some basics. So first of all, in 2020, it was estimated, and it has been surpassed, that 3.5 billion people would be using social media networks worldwide. Okay. That's about 40% of the population in this world. Crazy. So what is social media marketing? This is the activity of business on different platforms, social media platforms, that are going to contribute to your marketing objectives, such as brand awareness, website traffic, converting potential customers. Okay. And this activity is in different forms. It's with different forms of content. So captions, images, videos, but also community engagement and paid traffic. So what I mean by community engagement is like a Facebook group, or maybe you have a networking group that has a lot of engagement on Instagram. That's community engagement. So being involved in anything that has to do, any of these communities that are on social media marketing, that are on social media platforms, is going to be considered social media marketing. All right. And of course, paid ads, which I absolutely love because it's with a low budget strategy, because let's face it, solopreneurs like myself, well, I do have a team now, but many of us cannot afford to spend thousands a day on advertising, right? You don't need to. That's the great thing. And you don't also need to consume yourself spending 24/7 on social media in order to make it work when you run a low budget ad strategy in place of spending time trying to create that organic strategy and organic reach. So what's the most efficient and effective social media channels? Now, here's the thing with this. Honestly, I'm a firm believer that there is no one size fits all with this. Because although, for example, the demographics on Instagram can skew younger and Facebook can skew a little bit older, they're still both great platforms to market your business on. So I honestly feel that it depends on your business objectives, the kind of content that you want to publish, the age demographic, and also where are you spending most of your time. So there are very simple repurposing strategies, which is something that I teach inside of the Splash Marketing Collective, where you can use, for example, a Facebook Live and spread that out in other places, other platforms, using pieces of that same Facebook Live. So not just the video itself, but pieces of the video, and repurpose that in other places, right? And this can be a very simple process. However, if it's something that you haven't done before, you want to start with one channel, or maybe even, this platform and Instagram, and duplicate your efforts, but you don't need to be everywhere to make things work. I will tell you that if you have a paid traffic strategy happening, then you can really elevate all of your efforts much quicker. Okay. Now, there is a strategy to it. So you don't just want to like boost a post and dump money that way. There's a strategy. If you want to know more about that, I am happy to jump on a complimentary 30-minute call with you and share some of that with you. Just say the word Splash and we can definitely hop on a call and do that. Excuse me. All right. So what are the benefits of social media marketing? Well, you might be like, well, duh, that's where everybody is spending their time, right? Yes, absolutely. So you have an opportunity to be more discoverable. You are able to have valuable conversations with potential clients outside of your own network and outside of your local area, which I love. Recruiting is made so much more easier. So whether it's, you need to hire someone on your team, maybe you're in network marketing, it's just your reach can be expanded so much more than if you were knocking on people's doors. And you can build a community, which no matter what industry you are in, a community helps you connect with your potential audience, your potential clients, and other relevant businesses, and it really gets you seen as the expert the more that you participate and engage in communities outside of your own. All right. So, what about creating? So once you know these basics, right? The next step is you need to implement a social media marketing strategy. If you're just posting without a strategy, you are wasting so much time. You might as well not post. There's no point to, it's like, building a house. The architect needs to design the blueprint, right? The plans before a house gets constructed. It's the same thing. So if you want to run a true business and use social media as a vehicle to help elevate your business, you absolutely must have a social media marketing strategy in place. So just some places to start with this, okay? If you don't already have one. Number one, set some objectives, all right? So you want to know, what is it that you want to achieve with your social media? Is it that you're driving traffic to your website? Are you trying to gain more followers? Which I would say that should not be an objective, but there are maybe you are a micro influencer and you need to show some social credibility and you want to gain more followers, okay? Are you trying to recruit? Are you trying to build a community? So what are your objectives? And you can have more than one objective, but be very clear and write them down. Just write them down and have a plan. Number two, you need to outline your audience. And a part of all of this also is building the foundation of building your own personal brand. So once you build a personal brand, you will know what your objectives are. You will be able to outline your audience, okay? Number three is do market research. So look at your competitors' social media marketing activity. Find out what platforms are they more active on? What kinds of content are they publishing that you're seeing higher engagement on? What hashtags are they using? What tone of voice are they using that seems to be resonating with their ideal audience, which is aligned with who your ideal audience is? What kinds of conversations are happening with their audience on their social media channels? And what are their calls to actions? And what are they promoting? Go on their website too, follow their funnels. Maybe, test out their funnels, sign up for their resources and things like that. And honestly, this list can go on. Okay, number four is you want to prioritize your social networks. So like I said, you don't want to be all over the place. You want to have a strategy. You want to be focused. And so prioritize what network is going to work best for you, that you can stay most consistent with, but also that aligns with your ideal audience, right? And then from there, you can expand your reach. Number five, you want to set your brand guidelines. So as you are building your personal brand, which by the way, is not your logo and is not your website, it is you, okay? But once you are developing and you're building your personal brand, then all of these other things begin to fall into place, including your brand guidelines. So, and we can talk about like your fonts, your brand voice, what emojis do you want to use, and create a brand guide. That way, if you hire somebody on your team, or maybe you already have a team and you don't have this created, it just makes it so much easier for them to understand what your story is like, what your personality is like, what your beliefs are, what your values are, and so forth. You also want to include what are topics and words that you want to stay away from, right? So really think about these things that are important to you and and also that don't align with you, that you don't want to participate in. All right, so now it's time to plan your content. Okay, so think about what type of content is going to be best used to reach your objectives. So is it going to be photos? Is it going to be videos, graphics, articles? Maybe you blog, maybe live streams, stories. Now, I will tell you that live video is prioritized, especially on this channel, on this platform. So if you haven't started diving into doing live videos yet, you want to do that. And that is also something that I teach inside of the Splash Marketing Collective. So I give you an entire Facebook Live blueprint to help you and to guide you, including an outline of how to, structure your Facebook Live when you hit the live button so that you aren't rambling. It's very focused. It's bullet pointed. And then there's a method to that magic, because then you can repurpose that in other areas. And of course, having a call to action as well. So once you have decided on the types of content you want to put together, then you got to think of what are the photos that you want to put in place? What's your color scheme? What style? Where are you going to take these if you're going to be taking any lifestyle branding photos? And you don't have to have like a whole photo shoot done in order to make this happen. Okay. But it is great, especially as an entrepreneur, to show more of you and to let people really connect with you as a human being and get to know you. So you could simply just use your phone, and that works great. Use a content calendar. So once you have figured out what type of content you're going to put out there and the assets for that, you want to plan it out ahead of time. Okay. A content calendar relieves so much stress. And this is, I would have to say, one of the hardest, or I find the most challenging pieces of building a personal brand with my own clients or my own one-on-one clients, consulting clients, mentoring clients, is putting a content calendar together, because we're so focused on working in our business that we feel like we don't have time to put the content together. But when you can plan it out ahead of time, it will be so much more valuable to your audience. And it's about them. The content is not about you. It's not for you, it's for them. So content is supposed to drive people, to inspire them, to move them closer to buying from you. Okay, so you want to build a lot of value in your content. Give tips, inspiration, testimonials, stories, things like that. Okay, next, what about scheduling your content ahead of time? So I love using Creator Studio. There are a lot of other different platform, third-party apps that you can use. I'll tell you, one of my favorites is Smarter Queue, because what it does is it actually repurposes your content. You can put evergreen content. You can label certain pieces of your content as evergreen and then repurpose it like every few months or so if you want to, automatically. And I do have a link for that if you want to find out more about Smarter Queue. The next thing is you want to definitely track all of your metrics. So you want to track all your metrics. The reason why this is so important is because these will tell you what pieces of content are actually being engaged on, which ones are being consumed on. And I will tell you this too, you will not see metrics that are really going to mean much. It takes time, okay? It takes some time. Once you're being consistent and you have your strategy in place, it does take time. This does not happen overnight. This does not happen over a few months. Now, I will tell, if you're doing it organically, if you are running any sort of paid ad strategy, you can really shorten that time very quickly. I'm talking about within 30, 60 days. You can definitely shorten the amount of time that you're getting engagement and click-throughs and traffic to your website and even leads into a funnel. All right. But that really happens more so with a paid traffic strategy, unless you want to spend 24/7 on social media, which I doubt that you do. Okay, so those are all ideas on, in general, social media marketing, but let's talk a little more detailed with a couple platforms. So I'm going to speak specifically to Instagram and then Facebook. All right. So with Instagram, one way to really use that platform and to really elevate your social media marketing on there, and have the algorithm pick you up, is to post user generated content. So share content from other profiles. Now make sure to give them credit, and it's very easy to do that by using a third-party app like a repost app from your phone. It actually will pull in all of the content, the caption from that actual post that you're going to share, and it gives them credit. Typically it'll say something like repost from at, and then the profile name, but you always want to do that. So that's just one way. This allows you to connect with other people too. It could be other experts, maybe even people that do similar things that you do. But again, if you're showing up as a personal brand, I don't believe that you have competitors, because there's only one of you. Okay. And you are your brand. So share content from other places. This also allows people to understand that, hey, you don't think that you're a know-it-all, right? Because we absolutely cannot know every single thing about our own industry. It's just honestly impossible, right? It also is a great way to just get free content and use other people's content. As long as you're sourcing it and you're giving them credit, that is absolutely okay. You also increase your reach on Instagram by doing that as well. The other thing that you can do is to post when your audience is most active. So look at your insights inside of the app, inside of the Instagram app, and check to see when your audience is most active. And that will really help you. Also plan campaigns around social media holidays, like those fun ones like National Coffee Day. Today is actually, or yesterday was National Beer Day, I think, or the day before. So, pay attention to those fun social media holidays and use those hashtags as well. And then make the most of Instagram stories. Now, I will tell you, stories is just going to help you gain more engagement from your current followers. It's not going to necessarily bring you new followers. But if you feel like your profile is dead, stories is a great way to do it. It also allows people to get a behind the scenes of you, right? You can ask questions, you can take polls, you can tag locations, you can go live in there. Instagram contests are also a really, really great way to boost your followers, your engagement, and the right people by using the right hashtags as well. All right, so what about inside of this platform? Number one, video, okay? Promote your business with video. People get to connect with you. They get to understand who you are. They get a sense of your personality. So, if you have been following along with me for some time, then maybe I've connected with you. You found something that's relatable to you, right? You maybe liked my personality, and that's why you keep following along with me. And so once people get to see you on camera, they get to hear your tone of voice and what it is that you have to offer, you will connect with the right people. But you have to keep it consistent too. So I always suggest do a live video on the same day of the week at the same time, and that over time is going to help build the right audience for you. And of course, you can do so much with your Facebook Live too. You can transcribe it, turn it into a blog post, cut out little quotes and put them on image cards, do little slide videos with it, with different bullet points from your video, so many different things. And of course, always have a call to action. And then there's recorded videos as well, 15-second videos, 30-second videos. Those are working really, really well. Also, just like you on camera, speaking into the video with basically your full face up close. Those are really impactful videos as well as little bullet point videos with tips that kind of give a carousel sort of look to it, a moving slideshow. Those are working really well also. Okay. And then inside of here, having a community. So build your own Facebook community. And that is a great way to pull your followers from your Facebook business page over into a community. So number one, they're going to see you more often because the algorithm works better inside of groups. Okay. But still, a page is absolutely necessary. It's also more of like an exclusive, intimate place for you to connect with them. So I love to think of my business Facebook page as the billboard on the highway or the front yard of my home. And then my Facebook community, which by the way, if you're not in it yet, I'd love for you to get in. It's free. Just say the word group. But that community is like the backyard to my house. Okay. That's where we really hang out. We have more conversation. We are interacting with each other. And then the last one is when you are putting together your content to promote yourself, right? And it's not so much about self-promoting yourself, but promoting value to others. You want to think of, would this reader, would this viewer actually share this? And if it's kind of icky to you that they wouldn't share it, then don't post it because they probably won't, and it probably won't resonate with them. So put together content that is shareable, that has that shareability to it so that people want to share it with their own community, with their own friends. It's got to be so cool or so inspiring or so educational that they believe it should be shown on their own newsfeed. Okay. And I think I'm scrolling through. Yeah, so that was it. Once you have done this, okay, the best part about this is as your audience starts to build and you start to really think about and take action on running a Facebook and Instagram paid ad strategy, you can create what's called lookalike audiences based off of activities happening on your website, on your page, and so forth, so that you can expand and reach more of the right people. So if you would love to learn more about how that can happen for you and what's possible, I would love to do a complimentary 30-minute social media marketing, content, and brand audit for you. We coordinate a time, we jump on Zoom together, and I screen share with you your page. I go through your content and I show you really what's possible and where you could fill in some gaps to really optimize what you're currently doing or even not doing. So feel free to say the word splash down below and we will coordinate a time via Messenger. And I hope you guys have a fabulous rest of your week. I will see you back here next Thursday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. If you want to get into my free community and gain all of the fun and amazing nuggets in there and more in-depth trainings like today's, but I do go more into in-depth. The trainings in there happen on Mondays at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So just say the word group and I will get you in there, okay? Stay social and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.